It's time again for Shasta College football. It's nighttime. All right, welcome to Nighttime, Shasta County Sports Weekly Podcast. I'm Aaron Williams, here with Coach Brian Hamilton, back in the seat again.
All right.
After a week off, we gave CT the day off, and here we are. A couple of things. Let's start with last week. It's kind of a mixed bag. I mean, it's a good thing, bad thing. You score a ton of points, but you give up a ton of points. Let's first touch on the offense because, Tyler Carey had a career day. Eli Webby comes in replace of Gabe Curtis and just shows out. Offense was rolling.
Well, and I was proud of the offense, too. I mean, we started five freshmen at offensive line. I mean, that's rare. You have 5 guys there. We started, we lost our starting tight end early in the game. We lost our starting quarterback in the third play of the game. I believe it was third play of the game. And we're playing the defending conference champions in a perennial power in ARC. So to go out and put a legitimate 43 on the board I was really proud of those guys. Our team, offensive guys, worked extremely hard preparing in the bye week. Eli, he came off the bench versus Sequoias and put a touchdown on the board. He came off the bench in Sacramento and put a touchdown on the board. And so if you look at how many touchdowns he has as a quarterback in those drives, I mean, per drive, his percentage is incredibly high. He pulled his hamstring late in camp where it put him out for several weeks, and that kind of put him behind. But he's got some really, some great skills, and he did a great job. But the entire offense, I was proud of them. They've got a couple of kids on that defense, ARC, that have big time offers from big time schools, and we were able to get out of there with only giving up 1 sack. Averaging 7.3 yards a play. Obviously, you'd mentioned Tyler Carey, a local product from Foothill High School, 5 touchdowns and over 260 yards. And then Eli coming off the bench, and going, I believe, 21 for 31 or whatever for 340 and 4. His only interception was the Hail Mary at the end of the game. So, that one was really not on him. So, fantastic performance all the way around for the offense.
Talk a little bit about Eli, because a lot of what he did was him. I mean, there was one catch, I think Tyler, a lot of yards after catch. But that first touchdown pass that he threw on that post route to Tyler hit him in stride. And not only that, Tim and I were talking about it on the broadcast, he stayed in the pocket. He had the presence to know he was going to get hit. And he stepped up and he delivered the great ball. And I was watching after he delivered the ball. He got hit. That takes kind of that innate quarterback mentality, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was really proud of him. He's just so calm and relaxed, and he's such a, think about going into the game. We have to give the number one guy who we feel like, is going to start for us the majority of reps in practice. So he and Gavin both are good backups, and they don't give as many reps. And so he had, to come in and to perform like that, know the offense, know what his reads are, know exactly what his coverages are, and what is all the things that he has to do, and do it the efficiency that he did was awesome. But to your point, he stood in the pocket when he needed to and delivered great, accurate throws, and he also extended plays by moving around in the pocket and causing some fits and keeping his eyes downfield and making throws. He threw a touchdown to Juan Chavez, Phoenix Chavez, that was on. He was off schedule. The play broke down, and same with the 2-point conversion, and so it was really good to see. Gabe Curtis does a great job running the football, being physical. He throws it well as well, but just different types of players, and so it was kind of fun. To see a traditional type quarterback sit in there and do some special things. It was kind of fun, and obviously the offense clicked with him in there.
And that's the lesson. From Pop Warner up to this level, it's and I know coaches, and you probably preached it a million times, is take those mental reps, be prepared. even when you're taking those second team reps, when you're the second team guy, watch what happens, because you are just one hit away from coming in, and that's the lesson, isn't it? That you got to be prepared.
For sure, and we've done a good job, I think, as a staff of getting those guys ready and making sure that they do get some reps. But most of the credit goes to those guys because they've stayed engaged, they've not missed a meeting, they've focused. When they're getting a mental rep, is when the starters in there getting the reps in practice, and then in practice when they do get limited reps, they get in there and they're efficient with them. There are some plays in the game that unless you know our offense, nobody would notice this, but. There were several plays in the game where we had installed new plays, new adjustments to plays, and there were new concepts. And the third read on the progression, I don't really expect guys to get to, especially the backup quarterback. And there were several plays in that game where he would drop back in the pocket, and I'm reading the progressions with him, going, okay, that's covered, and all of a sudden the ball gets out to his third read. And I'm just amazed and going, okay, man, this kid really understands the play, what we're doing, where to go with the football. So he had a great game for sure.
Yeah, and the other one we talked about, Tyler Carey, and Tim Naylor and I were talking about on the broadcast that he's just that special guy where you need to get him the ball, and whether it's through the passing game or you work that end around a couple of times, he is just kind of dynamite with the ball in his hands, isn't he?
Yeah, going into the game, I wanted to get him, 10 touches at least. I think we were right about that, or more than that. Yeah, he needs the ball in his hand. He was our leading rusher and our leading receiving. Obviously 5 touchdowns in a game. I thought he scored now in 7 straight games going back to last year. We haven't thrown it that great this year up until recently, so that's pretty impressive. I think the statistics would show it. He's went top 5 in the state, but he's an elite player. He's doing this every week against different teams that are good. Everybody on our schedule right now is a upper tier city, well coached, well staffed team, and he's out there, being elite each and every week and consistent. So it's fun to see the progress that he's made from the time where he first showed up on campus to the player he is now. And he's to be given the credit for that, for his hard work and all the time he's put in. And it's showing every week. I mean, I'm sure coming into this week, Sierra spent a lot of time figuring out, how to take him out of the ballgame.
I would imagine that. Switching gears, and this is kind of my analogy, is that the offense and the defense last week, the gears never synced up. When you guys would score on offense, the defense couldn't get that stop that they needed to get the offense back the ball. And when they did make a stop, the offense, went 3 and out or didn't produce any points. And that's tough to see, especially in a game where you're going to probably have to outscore somebody.
Yeah, for sure. And now, looking on the film on it, it's just... Everybody, all those guys are working hard. The defensive guys, they're going out there every single series, every single play, wanting to, make the right play and playing hard. And they knew the significance, especially when it was 43-46 late in the game. And we were moving offensively. We hadn't been stopped in a while. And we knew that if we could get a stop right there, we feel like we could win that football game. And wasn't for a lack of effort. You got to get ARC some credit. They haven't been great on offense this year. They came out after a week, like we did, came out after a week off and really, sharpened the sword on that side of the ball and executed when they had to. I thought their run game was really good, and I thought their running back had a really good game, where he was fast and physical. But, you can't really put your finger on one thing. I think, yeah, would we have loved to got some stops there? Yes. And looking at the scoreboard, would you hope you scored enough points to win in that situation? Yes. But at the end of the day, they scored more points than we did. You're right. We didn't sync up where we didn't get that big stop and then the score, although there was some times I think we were down at one point 14 or whatever, and we got to stop and scored and got it within a touchdown and had momentum. Actually got it within 3 points. Yeah. Had the momentum, and there was a period there where we were kind of feeding off each other, and so the defense got their hands full this week. We got our hands full this week. Sierra's offense probably the best, one of the best in the country, and we got to go down to their place and early kickoff at 1 o'clock. So we're gonna have to show up and lick our wounds from last week and play our best game if we want to go down there and get the upset.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. You're going into a team that record wise is leading over you guys. Do you guys have to play a perfect game, or do you have to just come in and play your game and hope to force some mistakes and hope to force some turnovers? And
well, they're obviously a great football team. I mean, their only loss is to San Mateo, who's the number one team in the country right now, and so they're doing a great job. Their defense is fast. They fly around. Their offense is just clicking on all cylinders. They had a really good quarterback. They do a nice job. And we got to go down to their place. They play on turf, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to be a fast game. So do we have to play a perfect game? Well, I don't know if anybody's capable of playing a perfect game, but we sure as heck got to play a really good game. And, you got to go down there, and you got to do kind of what we did this week, I think, against a good team, is you got to get in a place where you're competitive and you're matching and you're energized and you have answers. And you take it into deep water late in the game, and you're there competing for the win, and that was what's frustrating about the game last week is, we fourth quarter, 43-46, we got the momentum. We're feeling, the entire sidelines feeling like, okay, this is a game we're going to go ahead and win now, and it'll be a good win for us, big win, and start the conference off, and just couldn't quite get it done. So we're going to need 4 quarters of great football. We got some guys out. It's no secret that both kids got rung up to concussions last week. They're not going to be back. We got their health and their safety is first and foremost. So we got to go down there. We got to travel. We got to play well. We got to focus up. We got to play all 3 phases. Awesome. But I do like our personalities on this football team. I like our work ethic. I like the time the players are putting in, the staff's putting in. We understand every game's an opportunity to go out and have some fun and do some special things, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Nothing to be nicer to bring back a W to Memorial Stadium for the following week, right?
Yeah, we got Siskiyou's. That's a big rivalry game, and we got a couple of home games. We've played pretty well at home this year. We had Reed lead late and had the lead late in that game, and then beat a really good DVC team, and then played ARC deep into the game. And if I wasn't the head coach of the team that lost, and I was just a fan, I'd be disappointed my team won, but I was sure, heck, I got my money's worth on that one. That was a fun game to watch, and so we've played well at home, not well enough to take care of business, though, and at the end of the day, that's what counts, and I got to get my team ready to go, and we got to make sure that we're cleaning up some mistakes, and it's late in the year, so you're dealing with some injuries and things like that too, but a lot of people are, a lot of teams are, so you just got to take every day it comes and stay positive, stay focused, stay unified, and go down there and play your best game and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, the Knights travel to Sierra Saturday for 1 p.m. kickoff. Or
1 p.m., yeah.
1 p.m. kickoff. Follow Shasta County Sports. We'll be all over it, and then we'll be back here in a couple of weeks to cover the Siskiyou's game. Coach, appreciate it, and good luck this week.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you guys.
You've been listening to Nighttime with Brian Hamilton. I'm Aaron Williams for Shasta County Sports. Nighttime is a Shasta County Sports production brought to you by Shasta Orthopedics.